Well done, child of dust. You've killed the immortal defender and liberated a house full of arrogant backstabbers. I should thank you for exposing the disloyal amongst my kin. But then, I have so much to thank you for. Your bravado is nothing more than the mewling of an angry kitten. Each Tuatha you kill makes the rest of us stronger. Each one feeds Tirnoch. The goddess of mercy awakens. And with every step you take into my homeland, she comes that much closer to walking our world and purging your kind. So welcome to Alabastra. It shall be the death of you once more.
We have seen our champion bested, our advantage lost, and our minds are cleared. Bravo to you, champion. House of Pride, in our ineffable wisdom, renounces the Tuatha and demands that you accept our immediate surrender. Your army is welcome here. We trust our benevolence will be well remembered should Gadflow be dethroned. We thank you kindly, and our mages have already been assisting your army in their march into Alabastra. We trust you do not object. Most excellently spoken. You have the commanding presence of a young Aegon, who once also bore the pleasure of our august company. Allow us to welcome you to Alabastra. We trust your visit will be eventful. As the Fae are above mortals, the House of Pride reigns above their fellow Fae, sharing our wisdom, our grace, and our humility. Vengeance is such a sloppy, boorish house. Marvelous fighters, of course, but simply crude. They all feel that the world has wronged them somehow. And perhaps it did. How else would they end up in such a hateful house? Myself? Why, this one is merely the lowest ranked of our house, and yet we have been chosen as the speaker for the Fae of Pride. To us falls the honor of acting as liaison to your mortal army. Your charming, well-bred, and simply lovely army. The Tuatha bred in our lands before we realized what change they truly represented. Certainly we all share a distaste for mortals, but few of us ever hunted them. How Gadflow came to command such respect is beyond even our wisest. He was little more than a jester at the Winter Court. But he said he found the voice of Tirnoch, and she led him to power. And it seems he was correct. We've been gifted with so much. It's only proper that we are also immortal, so as to put our gifts to the most use. Conversely, poor children of dust have so little, but are given barely a moment to live. How kind the world is. Prince Sidon is a Fae of noble tradition. He would never raise a hand against the High King, just as he would never bow before the Tuatha.
The House of Pride opened its gates and welcomed us as honorary champions. They say it's simple hospitality, but I suspect we have you to thank. Now is the difficult part. We can hold Cluricon, even push a little into Alabastra, but we don't have the forces to mount a siege on Gadflow. Once the House of Pride gives their word, they'll never break it. At least, not what it looks like we're winning. Our real problem is that we can't march the army through Alabastra. Not in formation, at least. This will call for smaller groups. Where armies have been fated to fail, you have the chance to succeed. But you won't be alone. The army will secure a base at the mouth to Alabastra. Meanwhile, the 5 of us will split up and infiltrate quick and quiet as we can. Meet at the House of Vengeance, on Gadflow's doorstep. From there, we strike at Baal, the heart of his empire. That's where we'll find Gadflow, and where we'll put an end to this whole war. I hope you're ready, this time. I'm sure you know more about it than I do. After all, you were here last. More than you'd think. But I promise I'll explain it all to you. Maybe once Gadflow's dead. I'll see you in Alabastra.
Hope you've got better luck this time, eh? I need to talk with you, but not here. I'll find you in Alabastra. The frosted gem at the center of Alabastra, full of Prismere. But now it's a lot more full of enemies than it was when we snuck in there. When you and I came to Alabastra, we were looking for the source of the Prismere's power. I never found it, but I think you did, and that's why you died. I'll give them the slip and talk with you a little later.
We're not going to stop Gadflow by just standing here and chatting. Baal was the seat of the Winter Court. Every bit as cold as Issa is warm. But they're both beautiful in their own ways. You should have seen Alabastra at its prime. Serene and beautiful as a sky full of stars. Lead the way. I'll meet you at the House of Vengeance. I'll see you at the House of Vengeance.
Hope you've got better luck this time.
Pain.